He signed a deal for just over $1.8 million. And I think what's really interesting about where things stand with the Toronto Maple Leafs is that they have so many guys who could slot into their bottom six, which is, I suppose, a good problem to have, but it is a problem that inevitably will be rectified by trades, and they will have to ship some guys out. This is Joe from the Bridges' potential opening night lineup. He didn't want me to say it's his. He didn't want to label it his own, but he's got Mateus Michelli up there on the top line with Nyes and Matthews. But look at all the different line combinations that they could rip off when it comes to the bottom six forwards. And Michael Pezzetta's a guy they signed in the offseason. No one's really sure about what David Kampf, Calle Yarncroke's deals are going to be. Nick Robertson's got a contract. It's just a fascinating spot, and that does not include Easton Cowan, who a lot of people believe will be given a real opportunity to make this club out of camp, as he should be. I mean, the guy's accomplished every single thing he possibly can in the OHL with the London Knights. So, Strutty, how do you see this all playing out with the Leafs now that Robertson's locked up? Do you think he's a lock to be part of the opening night lineup for the Leafs?
You know, I look at the fourth and fifth line, I guess, and I'm looking at it's an opportunity for everyone to make a statement in training camp. And just because you don't start the season doesn't mean that you can't change and get going. People make too big a deal, I think, on the opening night roster because it changes right away. But if I'm, Nick Robertson or Callie, I think Lott probably has that spot locked up. These other guys, you have to come in and have to just bully your way every practice to make a statement that I am the guy. I'm the one who should be playing. And you might get setback because they're going to give everyone a chance, but you have to keep pushing. And I've been in that situation many, many, many times, so I know what I'm talking about. You can't be deterred by other way other guys are playing. But I think for Nick Robertson, I mean, it's year in, year out. He's the guy kind of on the sideline, so he has to at some point put his foot down and say, I am the guy.
Yeah, I wonder if he's on the team opening night. I'm very skeptical. It just seems like it's time. He's been a healthy so many times, and I know every time he comes back, he scores a goal. And that's a funny novelty that we make jokes about. He gets scratched, he scores. He gets scratched, he scores. But this guy needs another opportunity. It's not happening with the Leafs. Look at the way that they've conducted their offseason. They're bringing in big boys on the wings. And Nick Robertson, I just don't feel like he's a fit. He doesn't make sense.
He doesn't fit the identity of what they want to do in the bottom six.
Yeah, but I would also say
what they've done.
Sorry to interrupt. For $1.8 million, the guy scored 15 goals. You want to keep him around. You don't want to just cut him. But you need something commensurate with that value.
Which, if it was out there, I'm sure that trade would have came to fruition by now, realistically. I'm surprised. There's some teams that definitely should give him a chance. He's only 23 years old. 23, yeah. He's still relatively young and has a chance to grow into, goal scoring, 15 to 20 goal guy. I still think it's here in Toronto. Just because of the identity of the bottom six, he doesn't fit that. And I think you pretty much know what your top six is going to look like. Sure, he can fill in every now and then. Injuries are going to occur, and he'll probably get an opportunity to play up the lineup. But realistically, I look at it, I'm thinking, if everyone's healthy on game one of the playoffs, he's not going to make the lineup. It's been 3 years in a row where this guy is sitting up in the press box for the playoffs. And it's not that I think he's a bad player, but I look at him like, why are you paying someone $1.8 million if you're already projecting him as a press box body?
I'll say this. I think that he could get traded for a player in a similar situation, another organization.
Agreed.
Right? Kind of on that second, third contract, not 30 years old, but maybe someone who was drafted by the team, hasn't worked out yet. So I'd be looking for that more than trying to just slide him out the door. Now it's yet to have a two-way street, but call me to your team's roster. Who's that 14th forward on another team or that 8th defensive on another team that you like a look at and you can flop it and maybe it works well for both teams?
Yeah, and Pittsburgh's a team that has been floated for Robertson simply because of the connection with Kyle Dubas and all the reports about maybe they trade Rust, maybe they trade Raquel and he needs somewhere to play in the top six. But I don't know. I think you could probably get a third or a fourth for Nick Robertson today, but I'm sure the Leafs the Leafs look at it though and say, well, the guy scored 15 goals for us. What's a fourth round pick going to do for us? And let's just keep him around if that's the case. And I totally understand that logic as well. But clearly something has to give. David Kampf, I know he has some kind of no trade protection, which is hilarious and absurd, but it's true. Calle Yarncroke's a guy who's been an NHL player for a long time. I think he's got 5 goals in 110 playoff games.
I'm not sure why there's such a push to move Yarncroke out the door. I think he's a very serviceable bottom six player. For me, I think you look at what he did in the playoffs and that line that Joe from the Bridge had projected of Lawton, Lorentz, and Yarncroke, they were pretty solid in the postseason. very dependable 200 feet. They provided a lot of chances. The goals didn't necessarily come.
How many goals
but a lot of
did they produce?
chances at the very least with that lineup there.
I think the answer is 0.
Yeah, possibly. It could
Lawton's got a better game. He can play better than he showed as a Leaf so
I think
far.
so too.
I think that it's you got to look at. I think the centers, they don't have to. It's not that unfair. You have to carry the line, but you at least got to push it a little bit and set an identity for the line.
Yeah.
And what I saw from Lawton, he just wasn't there. And it's a lot coming home to play and get a trade, all that stuff. But I would think that he's a guy they're really counting on to take a pretty good step towards being what he is more consistently.